Please allow me to share my screen. There you go. Let me just move some slides here. For a while. And just an update, similarly with Claire's situation, kakabagsak lang po ng ulan dito sa amin. So I hope, as what Claire mentioned, you're all safe, warm, and comfortable wherever you are. And I think that's the beauty of technology because despite our circumstances right now, such as yung rainy weather po natin, we're still able po to come together in a common space to ensure or to provide for us continuous na learning. So thank you once again to all of you who joined us this morning. Congratulations also because you're a one step closer into enriching po yung mga skills, insights, and new information that is happening around the world today. So again, my name is Loy. I'm going to be your speaker for today's session. And our topic is about measuring what matters, assessing and building digital skills in the workplace. I think this is very timely because previously, as you may all know, dear participants, yung criteria ng mga workforce natin or yung mga employees natin as they come into the work area will be dapat marunong silang magbasa, magsulat, na naka-graduate ng college. So yun yung basic criteria natin to accept mga bagong employee that will be joining our workforce. But right now, there is this particular skill that's very necessary for all of us to thrive into this new world. But very few pa lang po na mga companies or organizations or very few pa lang po yung nagtitake into consideration into checking ano ba yung skills ng mga current employee natin, incoming employees natin, to check and assess yung particular skill na yon that's going to be prevalent more and more as our world is going more digital and more technologically centered, right? All right. So I hope you're ready for this morning's session. We'd like to make this one short and brief, just an hour of your precious time. And again, if you have questions or if you'd like to share any comments or your insights, please feel free to put that on the chat box. We are encouraging everyone here po to be as participative as possible. So it's good to connect with like-minded na mga individuals in pursuit of additional information and lifelong learning for everyone. Okay, so let me start this session by asking this question. So you can opt po to share your answer to this one throughout the slide or presentation po natin. May mga several questions din po akong i-share or i-ask sa inyo. And these questions are meant to help you gain a better understanding, more wider perspective into how we can improve yung current skills ng mga workforce natin. Okay, so let me start this question by asking, why is digital skills assessment important? So why is assessing yung digital literacy or digital know-how or technological know-how natin as individual or ng mga employees under us or mga colleagues natin, why is it important to know yung current digital skills natin? So if you look at it, when we relate this one to reading skills, it's important to know ano yung current reading skills natin or yung current competency skill natin in relation to our job and how we're going to perform our job. So say for example, I'm a tawag nito, for example, I'm in marketing. So yung basic competency that dapat alam ko or kaya kong i-produce or gawin would be I should know how to do SOCMED marketing, kaya kong gumawa ng copyright, kaya kong gumawa ng mga images for posters and animation. And those things you can actually measure. There would be several ways on how you can measure yung proficiency na yun on a certain job. And this time we're asking how why it's important, no, for you to know or to assess yung digital skills or literacy levels ng mga empleyado ninyo, if you're in a leadership position, ng colleagues ninyo, or even yourself. Ayan, so feel free to put that one on the chat box if you'd like to share yung thoughts ninyo or yung answer nyo on that one. Okay, so I'm gonna give you po a few moments to ponder on that one. Okay. And while you are thinking of yung mga answer dito sa tanong na to, I'd like to share this particular slide, and I'm sure you would agree to this statement, that because we live in an ever-growing and expanding digitally driven world, digital technologies are rapidly transforming various aspects of our lives, from how we commute and how we access information and even entertain ourselves. So this digital revolution is characterized by constant innovation and the increasing integration of digital tools and platforms into nearly every facet of society. So I think that's why it's important that we know our current digital skills or yung ating proficiency, not just on using how to use the technology, but yung attitude and yung behavior natin into using this technology, because our world is ever expanding, being more technologically driven. So we as kumbaga citizens living in this technologically driven world, we should check kaya ba natin mag-survive into this new world order, so to speak. Yan po, no? So, I'm sure you would also agree that a lot of aspect ng life ninyo is really driven or is really governed by technology. So, like for myself, one aspect of my life na kumbaga I can't live without technology would be on finance, no? Because since the pandemic, I no longer carry as much cash as I used to. Like nasanay na ako that a lot of the transactions that I do, I use GCash or yung mga fund transfer natin, bank transfer natin, because it's more convenient for me. I'm able to automatically get receipt ng mga binabayad ko. I'm able to keep track ng mga expenses and spending ko. And yun nga, iwas doon sa contact on ng physical paper such as yung money. So that's one aspect of my life that's kumbaga driven by technology. So how about kayo? What would be that aspect of your life? No, some in our previous session, some of our participants had shared that on entertainment. So I'm sure a lot of you would also agree. So meron yung nagna-Netflix Sunday chill and ano tayo, Netflix chill every Sunday. So instead of going to the cinemas, mas nakababad na tayo sa Netflix and other stuff such as that one. Okay. So on this point, I'm sharing to you yung answer doon sa first natin na question on why digital skills assessment is important. And I'm sure you would this one would resonate with you, especially those who are carrying or having with them leadership position or in charge of several na personnel or several na employees, because as you carry out your programs or yung activities ninyo in your institution, it's inevitable that you'll encounter people from all walks of life. So individuals with diverse educational backgrounds, life experiences, and learning needs. And with that diversity comes the important challenge of establishing a common point, a baseline, so that you can deliver truly meaningful and relevant learning activities and sessions for them. So similar po, if you look at that sa ating workplace, a lot of our employees nung nag-aaral, hindi po ganun ka-emphasize yung need to be proficient in a lot of tools in the for na may use ng digital or technology. Because during the time, especially nung time ko na nag-aaral ako sa college, parang kakausbong pa lang nung mga yung trend for use ng internet, yung trend for use ng computer. So I would remember yung first job ko sa office, we're sharing one computer lang and we are 5 employees there. So pen and paper po lahat ng mga transactions namin the first time that I was employed. But right now, that's not the case anymore. So it's important to really know yung skills ng mga empleyado natin, ng mga personnel natin. And in knowing po kasi that one, as mentioned dito sa slide na to, when we know where yung colleagues natin or yung employees natin currently are, then we'll be able to help them more targeted and personalized yung assistance and even yung activities that we're going to provide for them. So, skills assessment, identifying yung skills assessment, especially for digital literacy and skills, would help identify existing knowledge, skills, and gaps. And this would allow you to tailor your approach, ensuring that learning is targeted and impactful. And the digital skills assessment is important because it serves as a diagnostic tool to benchmark current digital skill levels and deliver targeted instruction that meets users where they are. It empowers organizations to track progress, close skill gaps, and build digital confidence across all users. So no longer na po needed yung kailangan marunong mag-open ng computer at gumamit ng Microsoft tools, no? Because kumbaga, every one of us is expected to do that. What's more important is that yung behavior, yung attitude ng mga empleyado natin into how they're using itong mga digital tools and technologies po natin. And that is what I think yung pinaka-important aspect ng digital skills assessment. Now, let's pause for a moment to explore the latest trends and news shaping our landscape. So why are we, kumbaga, sharing this insight to you? Itong importance ng digital skills assessment. So before we look at any resources or solutions, tools or platforms, I think it's important that we understand the current landscape. What's really happening right now? Let's look at some facts and figures. Specifically where we stand when it comes to digital literacy in the Philippines and across the globe. Now, recent studies and assessments show that while Filipinos are highly active online, especially on social media, we usually break yung media, so to speak, no, yung SOCMED, because yung presence ng Filipinos, especially on Facebook, is really that immense. No? But there is still a significant gap when it comes to digital skills that are essential for education and the workplace. And these include competencies like online communication, information evaluation, digital content creation, and cyber safety. So, of all of those important skills, do you think adept po ba yung skills ninyo? It's good to find out at what level po. I'm sure you would be excited or you would really want to know that one. Now, I'm showing to you this slide where you're seeing po some of the statistics about the current digital skills ng Filipinos or yung co-citizens natin. So, what do you know po ba about the state of digital literacy in the Philippines? I'm sure for those na nasa school, you'd see this scenario playing out sa mga students ninyo, sa mga instructors ng schools po ninyo. For those that are in other institutions, say for example, we have a participant here from DOH, you'd also see this one played out sa mga colleagues ninyo sa work. Now, in today's fast evolving world where we are surrounded by skyscrapers and self-driving cars, computers, and even robots, I think digital literacy is no longer optional. It's actually a must, no? It's a necessity already because yung mga students natin, yung mga children natin, they're not born with a silver spoon in their mouth now, but they're born with a wire for charging already because built in na sa kanila yung knowing how to use technology. So I think that's why it's very important. And without the right foundation, we risk becoming like the caveman that we're seeing here on the picture, living in a modern world surrounded by technology but unable to use it effectively. Okay, so we're seeing here that among the Filipinos age 10 to 64 years old, 93% have basic literacy skills, but 70% have functional literacy naman po. This means that for every 9 individuals aged 10 to 64 who can read, write, and compute, only 2 individuals have comprehension difficulty. And so And I think this number is growing pa po, meaning a lot of our population would know how to use technology, but how to use it effectively, efficiently, and with responsibility. I think yun po yung pinaka-important, and that's what we are sharing with you this morning. Now, to fully appreciate po the need for a robust digital literacy, let's first return to the fundamentals. And which is, what is digital literacy and why is it important? So digital literacy, as what you're seeing on the screen, refers to the ability to effectively and responsibly use digital technologies for accessing, evaluating, creating, and communicating information. So I think ang pinaka-important dito na adjective would be yung evaluating, because all of us are able to access information of technology. Compared to other countries, the Philippines, we have very limited restriction. I mean, very few pala na restriction on sites that we can access compared to other countries where certain sites are banned doon sa country altogether. So in the Philippines, we have parang a full access to a lot of information, no? And that's good. But I think yung pinaka-importante dito is yung skill on how to evaluate, differentiate, or sift between yung what's real and what's not real, no? Because a lot of things or a lot of information that are available in the internet are used for propaganda, which is sad, no? Ayun. So I think yun yung importante dito, pinaka-important dito na skill for digital literacy is the ability to evaluate what we are consuming of internet. And this one, it involves both in technical skills such as navigating the digital platform. I'm sure we're all very familiar with that one. When we open a website or a platform, we know already how to go about browsing that one. Yun po. And more importantly, yung cognitive skills, no, including yung critical evaluation of online content. So there was this one news about the Philippines also, na it's about senior high school students in the Philippines na yung pag-consume ng information and how to make use of that one. Yung critical thinking skills nila are not at par dun sa kanilang grade level, which is 11 and 12. Um, Age-wise, that's already 18 years old. So parang may legal age na. But that's sad, no? Because even at that age, they still need assistance on how to ensure that they're able to um, use the information, make sense of that one, evaluate, so that they can use it for improvement and not for detriment. Yeah. Now, in today's fast-evolving technological landscape, shaped by innovations such as AI or artificial intelligence, we're now seeing a lot of Gen AI tools and platforms. Tawag nito, very rampant in a lot of sites that we are using, ano po, no? And machine learning, being literate again is no longer an option because it has become a fundamental um, skill set that impacts multiple areas of our daily lives and future readiness. So, ayan. So, dear participants, are you also using po ba Gen AI in your workplace or doon sa daily nyo po na activities in the office or in the school? O because knowing how to use that one effectively and responsibly is key on how we enrich yung ating digital literacy skills. Now, the importance of digital literacy is especially evident in the following areas. So you're seeing that one here. But I'd like to point out that out of these 8 na areas, I think yung mga pinaka-importante would be critical thinking and problem solving, because in any aspect ng life natin, that's going to be always the top skill if we're able to analyze the situation, analyze information, and make sense of that to solve yung concerns or yung problems, or to improve yung current na situation or current na scenario. I think that's a good skill to have and good skill to enrich. Online safety and privacy, very important, especially right now. There was this one news that I saw na meron isang French woman dinivorce niya yung kanyang husband because she believed that she was communicating with Brad Pitt. Yung pala, yung kausap niya was somebody else pero is using yung deepfake na tool or technology na pagkausap niya like the one that we're doing right now, yung mukha ni Brad Pitt and even yung voice ni Brad Pitt yung naririnig at nakikita niya. So much so na dinivorce niya yung husband niya at nagpadala siya ng pera doon kay Brad Pitt. So yung, knowing 'no, yung online safety and privacy, how we safeguard ourselves for that one is very important right now. There was this other news also na yung isang, employee nagpadala din siya ng I think millions of dollars doon sa kanyang boss because they were having a Zoom meeting very similar like this one. And then binigyan siya ng instruction ng boss niya or ng CEO nila to transfer yung funds and he did that one because he really believe na yung kausap niya via Zoom is really the CEO nung company but that person is again using advanced na mga technology. So I think online safety and privacy, safeguarding ourselves for such things is gonna be one of those critical skills na meron tayo dapat. Next is bridging the digital divide. Because even though a lot of yung students natin are living in the 21st century, meaning they live in a world na present na yung internet, present na yung computer. Sadly, not all of them have access to that one. So even if they are 18 years old already, you would think na walang digital divide sa kanila or yung skills on how to use the tools. They wouldn't that wouldn't be a problem, but that's also happening. We actually had sessions with a group of students. They're already grade 7, 8, I think. We did a training for them in one of the platforms that we are providing service for. And medyo nag-crush yung heart ko because they don't know what email means. They don't know how to use the keyboard and they're already grade 7 and grade 8. So there's a lot of things happening in the Philippines right now, no? And yung career preparedness. I think those would be areas where digital literacy skills is gonna be very important. Now, at this point, let's broaden po our horizon and look at the Future of Jobs report of 2025. Now, the Future of Jobs report, I'm sure some of you may know this one. This is published by the World Economic Forum, and it is a critical source for understanding how jobs, skills, and the workplace are evolving in response to rapid technological, economic, and societal changes. In short, the report is a strategic tool for shaping the future of work, empowering stakeholders at all levels to anticipate change, take action, and thrive in rapidly evolving labor market. So kung may bolang kristal po tayo, ito pong future of jobs would tell us ano yung magiging work in the future, kumbaga. And a lot of this, if you would notice, is being a lot of yung mga jobs in the future, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, would be really ever present po yung having yung skills and knowledge on how to use technologies. No? So, for example, over here, yung next slide po natin, 86% of job or yung drivers ng business transformation would be AI and information processing technologies. 58% would be robots and autonomous systems. Ayan po. No? So, this is gonna be yung future ng jobs natin. Did you know, dear participants, that right now, meron na pong trabaho or course that is about prompt engineering. So, we all know what engineering courses are. Like, we have civil engineering, electrical engineering, ECE engineering, no? So, and then right now, we have a course or a job na prompt engineering. And that job, ang ginagawa niya lang po is to create prompts. Yung tina-type po natin dun sa mga Gen AI tools and software such as ChatGPT, Gemini, to produce yung mga content and output. So who would have thought na that's gonna be a job in the future? And I think yung mga nasa school or institutions po natin or even yung nasa workforce, a lot of jobs right now na ginagawa ng mga empleyado po, these are not present 10 years ago, kumbaga. So really, because of technology, a lot of things in the workplace are evolving, and so much more in the next 5 to 10 years because of the expulsion actually of Gen AI. It has changed a lot of things, a lot of landscape already. So a lot of tech companies, especially in the Silicon Valley, sa US, like Amazon, Google, Microsoft, they're actually offlaying thousands of workers already. I think yung first quarter of 2025, we've seen around 100,000 workers from those company being laid off because yung trabaho na ginagawa nila are gonna be done already by technology and yung AI. So the thing here is that um, as workers, kumbaga, we are not actually gonna be automatically replaced, but we're gonna be automatically replaced by someone na who uses technology or who knows how to use yung technology. So, saktong-sakto po itong session or yung presence here because you're actually enriching yourself or adding insight into how you can be more aggressive into empowering yourself to be ready dito sa ever-evolving world po natin. So what's happening right now? Ayan, naunahan po ako nauna po ako sa slide ko. We're seeing po job growth and loss at by the millions. Ayan po. So, but I think the good thing here is that if we're seeing 92 million jobs being displaced, there would also be new jobs created, no? Meron pa rin yung mga bagong jobs na maki-create because of that one. I think yung necessity or yung disruptors, sorry, would bring about so much change. Some good and some bad also. So example, yung pandemic, there had been a lot of jobs that were displaced also because we're not allowed to go out already. But on the offside of that one, maraming din pong bagong jobs or opportunities or business opportunities na na-create out of the pandemic. So we're seeing that one actually in the everyday life already. Like we're seeing a lot of yung tipong Grab. So we have different forms ng delivery, online delivery already. So it's made a lot of how we do things more easy and more convenient. And we're seeing a lot of technology already popping up, making it easier for us to transact yung mga transactions natin done online. So dati kailangan mo pumunta ng bangko to transact your business there. But right now, there are a lot of ways that you can still transact business with the bank, not being present there or going there. Yan po. So over here naman po, you're seeing still from the future of jobs, the largest growing and declining jobs by 2030. Okay? So we're seeing po yung growth ng mga jobs that are more tech-driven or tech-driven or digitally driven. Ayan, so this is the fastest growing and declining jobs by 2030 naman. And in 2030, this would be yung fastest growing skills. Ayan. So, ito yung mga skills na lahat ng empleyado should have if we want to thrive, no? Thrive in this new world po natin. AI and big data, network and cybersecurity, technological literacy, creative thinking, resilience. Ayan po, if you look at it, a lot of that would have reference dun sa digital skills po natin. So, I think it's really good to check how ready or how ano na po yung digital skills natin. And knowing yung current natin ng digital skills where we are currently would be a step into enriching yung what we currently have. And last na sharing po from the future of jobs is this slide. So this illustration, it would show how business will respond to AI developments. And a large percentage, by at least 77% you're seeing here, shows that reskilling and upskilling existing workforce is needed to better work alongside AI. So it's still good news because a lot of companies na naging part nitong future of jobs na report is saying na we're gonna keep yung current employees namin because they just need to be reskilled and upskilled so that they can work alongside yung AI. So I think having yung that kind of mindset from the employees and the employers would be a really good combination to thrive into this century. Okay. So at this time, I'm sharing to you, dear participants, the EU Digicom framework, or the European Union Digital Competency Framework. Here you're seeing po 5 competencies that are required to thrive in a digital world. No, so this one would be information and data literacy, problem solving. We've seen this one earlier also, very important because kasabay nun, if we're able to solve problems, meaning we have high critical thinking skills, on online safety, digital content creation, communication, and collaboration. Coincidentally, these 5 skills na to is also being captured in the UNESCO's definition of digital literacy, which is the ability to access, manage, understand, integrate, communicate, evaluate, and create information safely and appropriately. Okay. All right, over there. So at this time, I'm going to ask again another question dun sa mga participants po natin. How confident are you in your digital literacy skills or of that of your institution, your stakeholders, or yung mga colleagues po ninyo? Are you ready po ba dito sa next phase or next chapter natin, all of us po, no, because we're all affected by this digital transformation or digital evolution that's currently happening across the world. And the truth is, we will never really know. um, we will never really know for sure unless we measure yung readiness natin. Of course, we can always use yung tantiometer. Tayo mga Pilipino, mahilig pa tayo yung gumamit ng measuring stick na yon, which is yung tantiometer or yung educated guesses. But when it comes to training and upskilling, we need more than yung gut feel. We need, a robust na assessment, because when with that assessment comes yung numbers, and numbers, I really like them because they don't lie. They are on feeling. Wala silang pakialam kung 70% yung score ng particular student, because it's just telling the fact or telling the truth about yung current skill or where we are. But knowing the numbers is actually gonna be very helpful, because by then, you'd know na po ano yung kailangan pa natin gawin to increase yung skill natin na yon, thereby increasing the number. So it's able to point us into the right direction. And yeah, so sabi nga po dito, because we want to thrive in a digital world, we can't just guess our way through it. We need data to guide our direction. And now we've come full circle, because earlier we've asked ourselves, why is digital skills assessment important? And they are important. It's important. It matters because digital skills assessment directly supports the initiative, programs, goals, objectives, the vision and mission of your organization and your institution. So this important element helps deliver the just right resources, tools, and solutions, ensuring that every effort, activity, and program that is going to be developed and rolled out is meaningful, targeted, and set up for success. Now, at this time, you might be asking, what would that look like? Yung assessment tool na yun look like? No? So, that assessment, that tool, should have or should be able to offer you authoritative assessments, no, assessments that not only measure where the stakeholders are, but also guide them to align courses based on their needs. And all of these are delivered through an easy-to-use platform. And of course, you'd like to know na yung assessment na iti-take ninyo and the result that's gonna be produced from that assessment would come from a reputable source. No? And that's where we come in, because at this point, I'd like to introduce that 2 institutions can support you on this. So we are CNE Adaptive Learning Solutions, or SEALS, and we are a reputable source of quality educational materials, product, and services. So what we do is actually bring international solutions, international platforms into the Philippines, so that we can as Filipinos, we can enjoy and maximize itong mga tools and resources that are available globally and make it more accessible in the Philippines. And we are 31 years already. These are the different brands na nanganak because of that dedication to service to our partners and to our stakeholders. And we're happy to share that just last year, we have launched an international brand. This is CNE Nexus. So we are servicing po yung mga neighboring Southeast Asian countries natin, bringing the same products, solutions, and service that we are providing for our Filipino partners here in the Philippines. And together with that, for that endeavor, we're proud to share that Digital Skills Factory, or DSF, has trusted seals to bring to you their bespoke solution. So DSF is founded in 2017. It's a French social enterprise company focusing on digital literacy as an essential building block for development. And you would be happy to know that DSF is a sustainable, scalable, and cost-effective training solution for the digital age. Now, at this point, dear participants, let me walk you through very briefly about what Digital Skills Factory is. So, DSF, this is an online training provider focused on improving digital skills and competencies. DSF offers two solutions for you, dear participants. Number one is a skills assessment tool called SkillMap. So, earlier on, where we were talking about bakit nga ba important yung digital skills, how important is it to know nasa yung current digital skills natin. So Skill Map can help you on that one because it's an assessment platform specifically on the digital skills or digital literacy skills of an individual. And this is based on the European Union Digital Competency Framework. So you would be assured that the test that you're going to take here is reference doon sa international standard of what digital skills, literacy, and competencies should be or should look like. Now, the beauty of that one is that the results ng assessment from the skill map can be matched to the SF's own courses. So, of course, we'd like to know, okay, mababa ako sa particular digital skills na to. Say, for example, problem-solving skills. Ayun. Mababa ako dito. What can I do to increase itong particular skill na to or improve itong particular skill na to? So DSF has a solution for you on that because that is their second solution in the platform, which is yung mga courses. So there would be courses that's gonna be matched doon sa particular skill gap na meron yung mga participants na magte-take ng assessment through the skill map po natin. So we have two solutions here, an assessment platform and a course platform. They can be taken together or pwede pong standalone or individual po. And you would be happy to know, dear participants, that the wide range of the SF courses and certifications include basic digital literacy for beginners and job seekers po natin. So kung this the skill map po actually is a good tool to parang part ng screening ninyo sa mga bagong employees, sa mga school naman. If you're accepting po mga freshmen or mga senior high school, it would be a good tool, a diagnostic tool to check ano yung current digital skills ng mga tatanggapin niyo pong mga estudyante. And we have courses here that will help them bridge yung particular skill gap na yun. Alright, so at this time po, I'm going to share very quickly to you itong slide na to. So for skill map po natin, as mentioned earlier, that's going to be based on European Union Digital Competence Framework. There's going to be a mixed methodology ng assessment natin here. It's going to use self-assessment questions and an extensive bank of testing questions natin. Each of the participant natin is going to take yung skill map or yung digital assessment, would have their personalized dashboard, highlighting strengths and identifying growth areas. For those that are in the admin or those yung magmamanage ng access ng skill map ng mga institutions or organizations, you are going to be given a dashboard to see yung general overview ng mga participants that is using the platform, either for skill map or for the courses po natin. So this is a snapshot of reports and analytics that's going to be accessible doon sa institution once you subscribe or once you avail po yung either of the two solutions po natin. Okay. So at this time, I'm sharing po sa inyo, dear participants, um, a walkthrough of how you're going to experience po yung skill map po natin. So first is that meron po mga self-reflection questions that's going to ask about your skill. And then second po niyan is that another self-reflection questions is going to ask about yung attitude natin. And lastly would be yung about testing question po. So example po dito sa self-reflection about skill is that it's going to ask you, how confident are you about doon sa pag-set ng security and safety ng platforms na ginagamit mo. So you're going to put there yung level of confidence mo and then yung level of attitude mo, like do you usually check yung data privacy statement ng any browser or website na binivisit ninyo? Nako, dear participants, do you do that po ba? Ayan. And the next is that it's gonna give you scenario like this one po sa nakikita ninyo to check if yung self-reflection nyo on the skill and attitude that you mentioned na meron kayo is really aligned. Ayun po. So, ito po yung how skill map is going to help you assess yung current digital literacy skills that you have. The assessment takes about 45 to 60 minutes po because for each of the 5 areas po na na-mention natin kanina, yung problem solving, yung content creation, privacy, and communication, and the fifth one, yung 5 areas na po na yon i-assess po kayo nung platform po natin. And there are, I think, 15 to 30 questions or 15 to 20 questions per area na yun. So, ganun po siya ka-detailed yung assessment natin because it's really going to help you check where your current digital skills is or are. Ayan po. And then, after that one po, it's going to give you po report such as this one. So, you're able to see po yung area na yon over here. And then nakikita niyo po yung level ng proficiency po ninyo doon sa area na yon. So, it's gonna be either intermediate, foundation, and then expert po ata yung isa. Ayun. So, it's going to give you those levels po for each of the 5 areas na yun. And meron pong micro detail pa po nung information na yun because on information and data literacy, for example, it's gonna show you additionally po anong specific areas ng information and data literacy yung score mo from the assessment po natin. So overall, it's going to provide for you a summary view ng lahat ng skill po ninyo, a detailed view. This one is good for personal po or yung per individual na magte-take ng assessment, and a wheel view such as this one. So this is good for those po na nasa admin because at a glance dun sa organization mo, nakikita nyo po ano yung overall skill ng mga employee ninyo or ng mga students ninyo or ng staff po ninyo. So that is skill map, and I think that's beautiful because actually we took this assessment. So yung confidence level ko sa aking digital skills, of course, medyo mataas. But it's good to know na, okay, meron pala akong areas dun sa digital skills na I need to improve on. And that's a good information actually for me because I'm able to test and verify what I think I know. Ayan po, no? What I think I know dito sa skill and attitude ko versus doon sa what I can actually do. And knowing where I currently stand is actually more of a relief for me because hindi na ako manghuhula na ano yung mga dapat kong gawin to improve my digital skills or yung digital literacy ko because the skill map is able to give me that direction. I need to focus more dito sa aking safety. Medyo palpak po ako dun sa safety or bagsak po ako dun sa safety. Kasi click-click lang po ako, yes, accept, accept, accept lang. Hindi ko na binabasa super in detail yung mga nagpa-prompt sa window ko when I visit a new website. So, that's the beauty of having itong tool telling you saan magfo-focus in particular doon sa mga skills na yun. Now, the good thing about this one is that if you are, say for example, in a school or if you're in a leadership position sa institution po ninyo, the next thing po kasi na you'd like to know, how do I help yung mga students ko or yung staff ko build yung particular skills nila. Say for example, on problem solving, if ang ang nilabas na result ng skill map is that they need to work on that one. So over here on DSF is yung second na solution that they have, which is yung mga courses po natin. Okay, so the courses would look like this one. So for basic digital literacy, we have 3 courses, and these are the different courses po. These are toolkits for today. Say for example, career builder toolkit, yung AI toolkit, even for personal finance, because that more on yung safety, digital safety po natin, relates to that one, meron din po dito. And you would see po that for each of the courses natin, nakikita po natin agad how many hours it would take for you to finish that one. So para po siyang course, no? Parang online course po, but very targeted do sa particular skill or for particular po na topic. So you're seeing there how much time it would take for you to finish that particular course. This one, the courses are available for 12 months. So kumbaga, you can distribute that one for 1 year. For those na nagwo-work ng weekdays, you can take this on during weekends. Say for example, allocate an hour every weekend. So meron kang kumbaga every week meron kang learning activity to enrich yourself because you're taking yung mga courses na to. And the beautiful thing about is that the courses under the 21st Century Skills Portfolio, ito po, yung 21st Century Skills Portfolio po natin, these are designed to deliver 8 key learning outcomes that ensure meaningful, practical, future-ready competencies for all users. And you're seeing that one here, no? So critical thinking, adaptive learning, data literacy, emotional intelligence and wellness, project management, effective communication, and AI management. So ito po yung learning outcomes that you can get out of the courses from the 21st Century Skill Portfolio po natin. And accessing po yung courses natin is very straightforward. Just need po to log in dun sa website through the URL. Once you subscribe po dun sa courses po natin, you would be provided with a username and password. It's gonna be your login credentials. You're gonna put that here. And afterwards, you're going to see po yung courses natin here. So this is an example of a course that would be populated doon sa access po natin. So we have here in our example, a career builder toolkit. Once you click on that one, you're going to see the different modules doon sa particular course na yon. And for each of the module po natin, meron po mga particular activities here. Now, the activities here or the lessons or the input ng information here is provided in a multimedia format. So you're going to start off with an assessment again on that particular skill. Say for example, a computing fundamental. And then you're going to go through yung mga different lessons, and then afterward, you're going to take another assessment po. So really, ang beauty nito is that at each level ng information or module that you're finished, you're going to be assessed doon sa mastery po natin. And that all builds po doon sa, because after you finish po each module, you're gonna be given a badge, and when you complete po the whole course, you're going to be given po a certificate such as this one. Now, the certificates po natin, these are, kumbaga, can be recognized internationally because DSF is in partnership with other organizations and institutions across the world. So you're seeing po over here yung mga partners po nila. So if you have po employees who's gonna take po yung certificate or yung course and take that one outside of the country, that can be recognized also. And this is also good for mga students po natin, especially if they're working or starting into the workforce po natin. Now, DSF is also available via mobile app po natin. So, if you are the type na on the go po, nako, this is perfect for you. Alright? So, I'm on my last slide here, and I'd like to share po that as a review to effectively carry po digital skills assessment natin to digital skills enablement. There are several key steps and tools that are needed, and you're seeing that one over here. And you would be happy to note po that a lot of that po na mga steps, we have tools and resources that is available from DSF po natin. Ayun. So, alright, that ends po yung presentation po ko about Digital Skills Factory. I hope po yung participants natin are able to gain new insights about importance ng digital skills assessment and how we can have access and tools and resources to help us thrive into this increasingly digitally driven world po natin. So I'm gonna turn over the floor once more to Claire for our Q&A.
All right. Thank you so much for that very informative session, Miss Eliza. And so we're now officially opening our our Q&A portion for this morning. So dear participants, please feel free to park your questions or ask any clarification about the shared topic this morning or about Digital Skills Factory in our chat box, or you may unmute your microphone if you'd like to personally ask your questions to our speakers. Do you have any clarification po about the topic or sharing or comments about the session this morning? All right, meron po tayong question here on our chat box from Sir Darwin. Free po ba yung DSF? Mr.
Ayan.
Liza.
Ayan po. So Sir Darwin, yung DSF po, it's going to be subscribed by the institution or the organization po. So meron po siyang investment involved by the organization or the institution po natin. But ang beauty naman po nun because DSF is a social enterprise. So it's ensuring po na yung kumbaga business model or yung price model niya po would be scalable and sustainable for the organization and institution. If this is something po that you'd like to see, yung pricing or business model po, we would be happy to send it to you. Just give us po yung details po ninyo, such as yung name po ninyo, name po ng organization or institution, and yung email ad po.
All right, thank you so much, Miss Loy. And I hope na sagot po yung ating question. And what about from other participants po? Do you have question or clarification po about the shared topic this morning? Ayan. So I'll give you po a few minutes to ask. Alright. So if wala na pong magtatanong, so ayan po, meron pong pahabol na question here on our chat box from Ma'am Edrina Lapira. So, hi Ma'am, why is it important to measure digital skills in the modern workplace?
All right. Thank you po, Miss Edelina, for that one. So, I think it's very important to measure digital skills in the modern workplace because a lot of um what's happening sa workplace natin ngayon is gonna be changing. I mean, becoming more digitally driven, more technologically driven po. So, ensuring po na yung mga workers natin, employees or staff natin are ready and kumbaga sakto yung skills nila to work in that environment or to work with the tools is gonna be important po. So, measuring or knowing yung current digital skills nila to ensure that match sila doon sa workplace or doon sa requirement ng work is going to be helpful dun sa institutions po natin. Alright, so I hope nasagot ko po yung question po ni ma'am. Alright, so next question po is that what challenges do organizations face when trying to build digital competencies? I think especially in the Philippines po, Miss Adelina, I think one of the challenges po is that, um, yung yung access to resources or tools to number one, assess. Of course, there are a lot of open source na mga assessments that you'll find in the internet or other providers, meaning open source is free. But what it lacks would be yung structure or yung foundation ng framework. No? Say for example, we're not very sure kung saan galing yung questions or paano kinonceptualize yung mga questions or even yung mga questions ba, are they really evaluating yung particular skill correctly? So, yun yung I think one of the challenges of building yung digital competencies is that syempre you would like to know nasan yung mga current mo na workers because asan yung skills nila because if you're blind to that one, then all of the activities na gagawin mo to build yung digital competencies nila, kumbaga, not bullseye all the time. So having tool or an assessment tool that would direct you or guide you into that one, that's one of the challenges, no? Yung where to find that. And then second is that how to build yung activities to ensure that yung activities mo are building digital competencies ng mga worker mo or yung staff niyo po. So I think yun from what we're seeing, because we're servicing po different organizations, yun po yung prevalent na nashi-share sa amin at yung prevalent po na nakikita po namin. I think that's saktong-sakto po 'tong DSF because it's able to provide yung mga institutions, organizations, something to start off or to build on po. And normally po when you're building digital competencies doon sa mga tao natin or sa mga staff natin, I think yung isang pinakamahirap pa or challenge is that yung finding the right resource person to talk about or to build yung competencies ng mga employees natin. But if you have that in a course, kumbaga in a credible na course, such as CDSF, altogether that's solved for you already. So I hope I'm able to share po or given you insight on that one, ma'am. You're welcome po, Miss Adelina.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Eliza. And so, dear participants, if we don't have any more questions na po, please type in the chat box number 1 if we're okay to proceed with our next portion or next part of this session. And if meron pa pong mga pahabol na mga questions, feel free to chat lang po yan sa ating mga chat box and we'll answer that um, during po na ongoing po yung session. So meron po question dito, ma'am. Is it a monthly or one-time payment po sa program?
Alright. Thank you po, Sir JM, for that question. For the skill mo po, it's gonna be one-time payment po sa program. Similarly po doon sa courses po natin. So, si institution or si organization po would like to say, oh, I'd like to have mawa 200 of my employees have access to skill map. So, one-time payment po siya for skill map. And then, for the courses po, similarly, one-time payment po siya for the courses natin. Now, the courses is gonna be available po to be accessed by the participants for a period ng 12 months po natin.